Casey and the Sports Doctor. Time to look at the boys' side of things in the ECC. And Sports Doctor, a lot like the girls' side, the boys' side has been dominated by New London and NFA and Ledyard over the past few years. And we think one of those teams is going to stay atop the ECC. But a lot of questions surround those other two. Before we get into that, let's start at some of the teams that maybe you don't know about that have a chance to be special this year.
Yeah, how about we take a look at the Stonington Bears. Head coach John Leslie, R.J. Perilla back to sharpshooting guard. State tournament run last year for Coach Leslie and the Bears. They're back in the mix a little bit, and they can make some noise in the ECC this year. And how about the St. Bernard Saints, huh, Casey? Division II winners last year in the ECC tournament.
Yeah, who can forget that historic Cinderella run they went on, upsetting Plainfield in the ECC tournament, and they return a dynamic duo, Max Lee, Hunter Belageron, and I have a former coach who is an expert at high school basketball who tells me he thinks Max Lee is the best point guard you've never heard of or the best point guard in the entire conference. That's high praise for Max Lee.
Yeah, isn't that something? And Max Lee is a special player, and I really like the coach there as well. Mark Jones has done it all. He played ball at NFA, he played college basketball on a high level of Dayton, and now he's proven he can resurrect the program a little bit in St. Bernard, so special things happening there with the Saints.
We're so excited about those Saints and those Bears that we're going to bring you that game. St. Bernard's and Stonington will be live on game day, and we'll have an opportunity to see just where those two teams stand with the rest of the ECC. But I know there's another team, Sports Doctor, that you like in the ECC as well.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on the Fitch Falcons to make a move under second-year coach Charles Sylvan. Our guy, Justice Ferris, coming off the football field, is back on the hardwood. And A.J. Brown is sophomore this year. We're going to keep an eye on him. Some special things happening down the road at Fitch.
Well, I know you liked him in football, and it worked out for them. We love Justice Ferris. Justice will be served again this year in the ECC. And I think Hollis Scott has promised to play basketball this year. So we're going to find out what that's all about. And we will have those Fitch Falcons for you in their annual showdown game with the New London High School Whalers. Coach Chop Parker will tell you New London is always the favorite in the ECC, but with the loss of Major Roman and others, is this New London team ready to compete?
Well, they've got the guards to do it. You talk about Jalen Benson, you talk about Eduardo Gonzalez, talk about Gio Lopez on the basketball court as well. Their front court might be a little bit shaky, but as far as their guards, and 2 or 3 years now playing for Chop Parker, that New London style of basketball, New London could be back on the map this year.
Yeah, I think Lopez and Benson are going to score and be nightmares for teams. I think the 3 guards are going to cause a lot of problems for backcourts, and that New London team with that confidence, if they can find some bigs to rotate in, I think the Whalers have a chance to make some noise as well. And one team that is always ready for the Whalers is the Fitch Falcons. We will have that game for you. The Thanksgiving Day rivalry of old in football comes onto the basketball court. But the big 3 this year in the ECC are really special and worth watching. They include star players and teams looking to win state championships. And it's all about the leader, the athlete, and the star. The leader, Mikey Bassetto at Waterford. That team looking for an ECC championship and a state championship. This is his last year to do it. He has been a special player who will be remembered forever in Waterford. But if you know him, you know that as a consummate leader, he's not done without a championship.
I'm not too sure if we can say anything more about Mikey Bassetto. He plays basketball at 100 miles an hour. You just hope the rest of the team can play at his speed this year. He's got Liam Spellman, he's got Max Manzella, he's got a whole host of Walker Sutman, our guy up front, be productive. But Waterford is one of those teams. They've been knocking on the door. Can they finally break through and win an ECC championship this year?
Transfer in from the Bronx, Omar Rahman, and we're going to find out what he can do, because adding to that mix, they think over there in Waterford, they've got a special team.
Yeah, not only for a run at the ECC title, but run at the state title as well.
Well, let's talk about the athlete. We're here at East Lyme right now, and he's on the court behind us. He's not your typical athlete. Super special, Dev Ostrowski. Doesn't play video games, plays classical piano, doesn't talk smack, doesn't care about numbers, doesn't care about reputation. Quiet, humble kid. Talking to Coach Jeff Bernardi, he might need a little of that Mikey Bisetto swag in order for him to take the leadership role of this East Lyme team. But Batman and Robin, the backcourt of the Vikings.
Yeah, he just dunked Dr. J style a few seconds ago and brought the house down at a scrimmage game. You know, but Dev is one of those kids who has the ability to pick up a program, throw it on his back, and do anything on the basketball court. He can take it to the rim, he can shoot from the outside, and a very, very humble kid. We expected a lot out of East Lyme last year. They kind of, you know, flew under the radar a little bit. Casey, this year would be a breakout year for the Vikings.
Yeah, I say Batman and Robin because Luke Leonard is the other guard here at East Lyme, and he's not other anything. Second on the team in rebounding last year, the diminutive left-handed point guard is a rock star, ice water in his veins. Add Peters and some of the other bigs that they have here in East Lyme. Coach Bernardi had a big smile on his face. He thinks this team is ready to take a step up into the next level of competition.
Oh, I don't think he's alone, and you know what? If East Lyme kind of went under the radar last year in the ECC and in the state, they won't this year.
No, and I told him that I thought he might be the sleeper this year, and he says, we don't want to be anyone's sleeper team. I like that. Moving on to the star. The star in question is Trevor Hutchins, because as soon as he realizes that he is a star, he's going to be the next star in the ECC. He's put on size, he is a dynamic athlete, and he's one of the sole bigs this year in the conference to do the things that he can do. Put Kenny Turner alongside of him and some transfers. Coach Dave Cornish might have something special there at Ledyard.
Yeah, the cupboard's not bare there at Ledyard, that's for sure. Their front court will be second to none in the league and possibly across the state as well. And I agree with you. I don't think Trevor realizes just how good he is, his full potential. He gets his spot down by the rim, down on the block. He is unguardable. Kenny Turner's a junior now. You got some question marks at guards this year. Booker McNair is gone. Stephen Fletcher is gone. So some of the juniors are going to have to grow up and fill those roles and take over that signature Ledyard pressure defense. But as far as offensive power up front, Ledyard is loaded.
Couple of transfers, Nieves coming back off of an injury. The Colonels poised for big things. But ultimately, I think the ECC comes down, both in the Player of the Year and the Team of the Year, to those big three: the leader, the athlete, and the star. Which of them can assume all three roles? Mikey Bisetto, Dev Ostrowski, or Trevor Hutchins? Whichever one can assume all three, that team is going to win the ECC.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun year for basketball, especially on the boys' side. You know, you've talked about teams. Last year, Ledyard finally broke through and won their ECC championship. Well, you know, Waterford is chomping at the bit, looking to take that crown. New London's going to be better. The league is loaded this year. East Lyme is ready with their star, Casey. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Well, we're looking forward to bringing you all of those games. We'll have Ledyard and Waterford, New London and Fitch, St. Bernard's and Stonington, the boys' semifinals and finals of the ECC, the girls' finals of the ECC. All kinds of coverage this year, live streaming on game day. For the Sports Doctor, I'm Casey O'Neill. We look forward to seeing you when it's game time.